Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jayo Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jayo Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jayo Gauranitai, Jayo Gauranitai. Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, everyone. So today we are doing chapter 17, text 8. Ayu Sattva Balarogya Sukha Priti Vivardhanaha Rasyaha Snigdha Stira Hridya Aharaha Satvika Priyaha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Foods dear to those who are in mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purify one's existence and give strength, health, happiness and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome and pleasing to heart. So today we are doing chapter 17 titled as Divisions of Faith. I'm just going to set up the context first, that because it is 7th shloka we are going to do. So the three modes of material nature, the theme of three modes of material nature is increasing. The concept is introduced in the beginning and slowly the Lord increases, and every time He goes in quite a bit of depth and detail. So the three modes of material nature: Sattva, mode of goodness; Rajas, mode of passion; and Tamas, mode of ignorance. It is very, very important for us to understand these modes very carefully, because this is what determines us, our surroundings, everything. So in the chapter 17 titled as Divisions of Faith, the first 6 shlokas are about Shraddha, where Arjuna asks question about Shraddha. What is the faith? What are the features of faith? What kind of faith we are in? And how to attain Satvika.
The following is a class
so these are the
on the
questions.
Bhagavad Gita as it is.
Arjuna asks,
First chapter,
and
text number 36.
the Lord gives
given
the
by
answer.
His Divine Grace,
So the first
A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on July 26, 1973, in London, England.
And in the end of the 6th, the Lord says that
Sin
to
will
attain
overcome us if we slay such
Satvika
aggressors.
Shraddha is the
Therefore, it is
highest.
not proper for us to kill the
Satvika
sons of
Shraddha is
Dhritarashtra
Sattva
and
mode.
our friends.
So
What should we gain, O
what
Krishna,
is it?
husband of the
What
goddess
happens
of
when you
fortune?
attain
And how could we be
Satvika
happy by
Shraddha
killing our own
or
kinsmen?
Shraddha or faith in the mode of goodness? Because when you attain that, when you are in a Sattva platform, you get correct knowledge. When you get correct knowledge, you get correct attitude, bhava. When you do get the correct attitude, you are able to do correct work. When I say work, it means karma. Your karma is your work. And then, by the correct kind of work, it's the karma phala, the fruits of your karma. And that is what determines everything. What kind of life we are leading here, whether we want to transcend, it all determines. We have to come to Sattva Guna.
They do not care what
So
is
out of the 3
sinful
gunas,
or what is bad.
one has
I like
to
it, I must
attain Sattva Guna.
This is also.
So it is a prerogative, it is
There is no
mandatory.
reference
As a human being,
today,
if you are born as a human being,
authorities,
the basic minimum is
the
to
action
come
which
to the
are
platform of
going
Sattva
to
Guna.
do, whether it is pious or impious.
So, in 17.7,
Because
the Lord actually
by
talks about
impious activity,
how to attain this
I will be degraded.
Sattva Guna. He actually teaches us.
Adho tamasa.
And He introduces
Jagannath
that this 3 modes of material
If
nature,
we become
He
addicted,
introduces us 4 topics in which this 3 modes of material nature continues. The first topic is Aharam. Aharam means food stuff. It's a Sanskrit word. Even in Tamil, Aharam means food, to come and eat. Then he says the 3 modes of material nature runs in yagya, tapas, and dhanam, charity. All this comes under 3 modes of material nature, and this determines what kind of person you are. So, in 17.8, which we just read, and 17.9 and 17.10, the Lord actually talks about the different kind of footsteps comes under Sattva Gun. Then, what kind of footstuff comes under Rajas Gun, and what kind of footstuffs come under the Tamasic Gun. Why do you think he's talking so much about foodstuff? Because you are what you eat. I'm sure you must have heard this saying. You are what you eat. So people who are in Sattva Gun, what kind of foodstuff or aharam they eat, or how will it be? So in these 3 verses, the Lord is trying to teach us what a person in Sattva Guna will be consuming, what a person in Rajaguna he will be consuming, and what in Tamoguna he will be consuming. And it is because of these verses you are able to see the differences between these 3 modes and introspect yourself and go in the correct order. As I said, in order to progress spiritually, every human being has to come to a Sattva platform. Like for example, if you actually see when a person who is in a diving plank, in a swimming pool, in a diving plank, he has to come forward. He cannot be at this end of the diving plank and take a jump. He can't. He will fall on the plank itself. So that's what the Rajas and Tamas does. If you are too much into Rajas and Tamas, you will stay in the plank. You will stay in the material world, this world. But the moment you progress and transcended from Tamo to Rajas to Sattva, you are able to jump. You are able to take that leap forward. For that you have to come. In order to take that leap forward, spiritually progressive, for you to determine your better circumstances, you have to come to Sattva Guna. So for Sattva Guna, when people who are in the platform of Sattva, many things for them, it becomes their own nature. It becomes their swabhava. They are not putting any effort. For example, when you come to Krishna consciousness and start practicing, getting up and taking bath first thing in the morning becomes a swabhava. It becomes a secondary nature. When you get up early. That becomes a swabhava. Whereas when you are not and when you are there, you are still struggling. So that is a kind of a progress. So coming back to our verse, in the last line, Ahara Satvika Priya. So this part, the Lord actually says that Ahara Satvika Priya. Satvika, Sattva Gun. People who are in the Sattva Gun, Priyaha. Priya means what they love. What they love? Aharam. So what kind of food stuff people in Sattvika Guna, they love. So here it doesn't mean that, for example, little Narayana here loves Chinese food. It's not saying that the Lord is saying that, oh, we can eat Chinese food, or as my daughter likes Bhel Puri a lot, he's not giving a list, oh, we can have Chinese, that comes our mode of goodness, or we can have Bhel Puri. He's not giving those kind of list here. So what is it the Lord is actually saying? The Lord is actually giving principles behind this. And what are the principles? So when the people, those who are in mood of goodness, when they prepare the foodstuff, they prepare in such a way that that foodstuffs increase their lifespan. So first thing he says, Ayuhu. So if you see the shloka, the first thing he says, Ayuhu. So definitely the good foodstuffs which increases your lifespan. You need to avoid the bad stuff which doesn't. Second, Sattvam. Sattvam can be interpreted in many different ways. It also, one of the meaning is pleasing to the mind. But Prabhupada here specifically writes, purifying one's existence. I will come back to this particular point in a much elaborate way after I have explained this. So Sattvam, Prabhupada clearly explains, purifying one's existence. Third, Balam. The foodstuffs which gives you strength to the body. Balam. Arogya. Your overall well-being. Generally, which means you need to lead a healthy lifestyle. Regulated eating. Not overeating. It is called regulated eating. Healthy lifestyle is what? You need to fill up your stomach 80% only. You need to leave a quarter of your stomach for the digestive juices to work in order to the nutrition to be released. But just like, how we have washing machines in the house, you cannot stuff the clothes. What will happen if you don't leave a space in the washing machine? What will happen? It's not going to wash anything. It's not going to rinse the soap in it, and everything will come crumpled and mushy. Same thing happens with our stomach. If you're eating, what happens? You are just stuffing up. But people in the mode of Sattva Gun, they don't do that. They have regulated Arogya, generally, which means it gives healthy well-being. There are also in Arogya, it also comes that you have to consume certain foodstuffs which helps you also in medicinal value. For example, like bitter gourd. It helps, it has medicinal value and it prevents diseases also. So that is also comes under Arogya, which helps. Arogya, you are not rogi, rogue, Rogue means disease. So foodstuff which helps to fight diseases, Arogya. Sukha, it means when you eat, it gives you happiness. You're happy. Like, I know for sure when my daughter sees the bhel puri, she feels happy, but how much nutritious it is, I don't know. But sukha, foodstuffs which give you sukha. Preeti, it means even after you have eaten, it is pleasing. It is pleasing to your mind, to your body, to your stomach. So similar, if you remember, the Lord has already introduced this regulated habits in Bhagavad Gita 6.17. Yukta ahara viharasya yukta chetasa karmasu. So what is it? Yukta means what? Regulated. Ahara, the word again comes. Ahara means foodstuff. So regulated habit, Srila Prabhupada writes, one who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, he is mitigated from all material pain. So basically, if we follow this, it's a healthy lifestyle. You don't need a lifestyle coach, basically. So what are those foodstuffs now which gives Ayu, Balam, Arogya, Sukha, Preeti? What are those foodstuffs? How does it look like? That is the next part of the shloka. The Lord explains. The foodstuff which is rasyaha, juicy. Yeah? Like nice, plumpy, like my children love berries, yeah. When the strawberry season comes, it's nice and juicy. Watermelon, juicy, yeah. Mango, yeah. Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam is compared to mango. Like, it is so juicy. So the foodstuff should be juicy. Second, snigdha. Snigdha means fat, fatty. It should not be dry. When you eat in the mouth, you should be able to chew. That doesn't mean that you are frying puris every day just because the Lord has said, or making halwa with lot of ghee floating on top. No, fatty means when you are eating, the foodstuff should not be dry. It should have the oil to, to cook things properly. Stira, it should be enduring. When you eat foodstuff, it should endure. Means what? It should not be like you have eaten breakfast and after some time, after half an hour, you're again hungry and you're looking into the cupboard snack. Which means the food which you have eaten has not given any sustenance. There is no endurance basically. So the foodstuff should be enduring. Like, sometimes we eat poha, even though we have made batata poha. People all eat it. And after some time, even though you have eaten a meal, you feel that you are not at all filled up. So you need more. So foodstuffs which give you endurance is things like vegetables, pulses, lentils. These days, this millet culture has come so much. Wherever you see, oh, I'm eating millet, I have switched. But if you actually see, it's very funny. Traditionally, millets was part of our diet. If you go to South India, ragi is one of the key diet that you make ubbittu from that, In Karnataka, if you go, you make ubbittu. If you go to Tamil Nadu side, they make different things from ragi. If you go to Gujarat, people are still eating bajre ka rotla, they call it rotla, they don't call it roti. So it is big. So bajra is a millet, ragi is a millet. In Ekadashi, when we eat samo rice is a millet, full of benefits and healthy. But this culture has come now. But traditionally, it was all there in our culture and society, and people were practicing. Hridya, fourth is Hridya. The food which looks good, it's pleasing, it's smelling good. You feel happy the moment it gives you satisfaction. So much, when it is so much pleasing to the heart and you have eaten well, so it digests things properly. So again, to reiterate, that foodstuffs, people in sattva guna, in mode of goodness, they eat foodstuff which increases their ayuhu, lifespan. Sattvam purifies your existence. Balam, it gives you strength. Arogya, it is your overall well-being without disease. Sukha, it gives happiness. Preeti, it is pleasing even after you have eaten. And what are those kind of foodstuffs we are talking here about? The foodstuff which is full of rasya, juicy, snigdha, it is fatty, it has got oil in it. It has not too less oil, it has not too much of oil. It has got balanced. Stira, foodstuff which is endurance, it is enduring. Hridaya, foodstuff which is very, very, very pleasing to your heart. When you see it, you are happy and it is pleasing. Yeah. But sometimes, for example, many people like pickle. Yeah. But pickle, if you see, it is just given in the plate this much only, because there is a reason for it. Because it is high in salt, high in oil, everything. But many people like to mix it with rice and eat it. So it is a wrong combination. So everything has to be regulated. Everything, the habits, everything has to be regulated. Now I'm coming back to the point of sattvam. Why Srila Prabhupada actually translated sattvam as purifying one's existence. Because every food including the vegetarian diet, it brings karmic reaction. But when we offer the food to the Supreme Lord, it becomes prasadam. In Chandogya Upanishad, it is stated, Ahara Shuddhau Sattva Shuddhihi. Sattva Shuddhau, dhruva smritihi. Smriti labdhe sarva granthim vipra mokshaha. From purity of food comes purity of mind. From purity of mind comes constant memory. And why this constant memory is important? Because you are able to remember the Supreme Lord. From constant remembrance, one becomes free from all knots. And once become free from all knots, they become liberated. Yeah? So it is very important. The people in Sattva Guna, when they are eating, they not only eat, but they first offer to the Supreme Lord. See, whenever you offer something to the Supreme Lord, it becomes prasada. And once you consume prasada, what is happening? It is working. It is clearing your consciousness. What consciousness? It is helping you to transcend the tamo and rajogunam if you have any. It is helping you to come to the sattva platform. Of course, I will tell you by the end of the class, if I have time, that how does, it purifies even more and how it helps in transcendence. Yeah. Even in 3.13 Bhagavad Gita, it says, Yagya Shishtashino Santo Muchyate Sarva Khil Vishay. Food offered to the Supreme Lord in Yagya. So our devotional service is Yagya for us. Because we are not in Satya or Dwapar Yuga where Yagyas were performed. So what is the Yagya for us? It is our devotional service. And what is the devotional service? When we are preparing that food with that right attitude, with that bhavam, yeah, and we are offering to the Lord, what happens? Muchyate sarva khil bhishai. Khil bhishai means sins. Muchyate, it just gets relief and not ordinary sins. Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai. Not ordinary sins. Sarva khil bhishai. All kind of sins. So all kind of sins is, you are able to get rid of all kind of sins just by eating prasadam. Just by food offered to the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, what does this verse say? Bhunjate te tav agham papa. Bhunjate, if you are enjoying what? Ye pachanti atma karanat. Atma karanat means sense enjoyment. So if you are enjoying the food stuff, if you are preparing something and you are enjoying yourself, then it is agham papam, it is grievous sin. So Srila Prabhupada translates, virtuous people are released from all kinds of sins because they eat the foodstuff which is first offered to the God. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment, ye are verily eating only sin. So just imagine, this is such an important principle. People have to take this very seriously because this determines your life. This very life, your body, your existence is a work of your own karma, your karma phalam. And in order to improve that, you have come into this material ocean. Krishna is giving you how to get out from this material ocean. He is giving principles. He is telling you, you make foodstuff which increases your ayu, the principles which he gave, the foodstuffs which you have to, which is filled with juicy, fatty, sthira, enduring. And then what you do after you preparing? He's saying offer it to the Lord. So what does the Lord do? We can say that, oh, the Bhagwanji is just there in the altar. But no, he is accepting. Yeah, just like when a son makes a Father's Day card, your father is so happy, when he receives. Similarly, Krishna is very happy. Not only happy, what he does? He takes away all the sins from the food, because even vegetable making, cutting, that has got life, but the consciousness level is very low. But even that incurs sins. I don't want to go into that details. But he's taking it away. Not only he's taking it away, and then what happens? When you are consuming, what happening it to you? Yeah? The same halwa, the shira, the one is offered to the Supreme Lord, the other you are just thinking from the morning, today it is such a cold wintry day, all of a sudden the weather also changed. I want to make shira, yeah? I want to make halwa, and nice ghee I want to put. The same thing, this one you are eating for your own sense enjoyment. Prabhupada has clearly said, because you have not offered, you are verily eating sin. And this one you have offered, the offered prasadam is taking you in the front. The non-offered thing for your sense enjoyment is taking you back, which means you are going to stay here. Now, in the further verses 17.9, I'll be saying that, and it actually helps us that what kind of foodstuff actually people eat in Rajas Gunam. And then in the next verse, it actually tells you the foodstuffs which is being consumed by people who are in Tamasa Gunam. So it will actually help you to introspect and apply these principles in life. So 17.9, verse 17.9. Katu amla lavantyushna Tikshna ruksha vidahinaha Ahara rajasa sheshta Dukkha shokha maya pradhaha. So foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, burning are dear to those in the mode of passion. Such food causes distress, misery and disease. So if you actually see Katu Amla Lavantya Ushna. So Lavantya is Lavana Ati Ushna. Ati means more, too much. Like too much. Yeah. So people who are in the Rajogunam, so what they like first is Katu. What is it? Bitter. Too much bitter. Yeah. You need to put that Ati everywhere. Too much bitter. Ati Amala. Too much sour. Like we have our Katu. The Gujarati people always need Katu, which means extremely sour. Yeah. Or in Tamil, we have got a Puli Kolambu. Puli means tamarind, which means it is already, it comes under, it's very good for the tongue, but it comes under Rajasam. Then Lavana, too much salt. When you go to India from here, you really feel that all the foodstuff is way too salty, isn't it? I don't know whether UK salt is less salt or India salt is too salty, but too much salty. Ati Ushna, they really need everything piping hot. Then Tikshna, very hot. So the first Ushna means hot in temperature. Tikshna means hot in means taste. It has a sharp, pungent. Prabhupada writes that's pungent. Like chilies. Like way too many chilies, they will add more black pepper also on top. And they need that much of, really spicy food. Ruksha, it's very dry. This is opposite to Snigdha. The Snigdha, which we did in Sattva, this is opposite. Ruksha is opposite, which means it is very dry. Vidahinaha. It is so much burning, like the spice levels are so much burning, that the things which actually give you ulcer, things like those. All these foodstuff, Rajasasyo Ishtaha. So Rajasa Ishtaha. People who are in mode of Rajasa, mode of passion, they are doing what? They are eating these kind of foodstuff. So what happens when you are eating? See, this is all, actually we all eat. This is, after studying this, it actually gave me a reflection as well. We all eat. Some people like the spice levels are high. Some people like extreme khattu food. Some people like bitter. Salt, some people add, table salt, they all have. But the Lord is saying anything which is too much, it's really bad. Why it is bad? In the second part of the shloka, he says it causes three things. So what are the three things? Pradha. It ends with pradaha. Pradaha means it gives, it causes. So what is it causing? It is causing dukkha. Yeah? You go to a restaurant one day, you decide you go, you eat, you find things spicier. Have you seen many men sweating from everywhere? They're sweating so much, they have to take the tissue wipe, and in fact their nose also starts leaking, they have to blow their nose. It is so much hot in temperature and it is hot for the tongue. It gives you dukkha, so definitely that person is not enjoying. Yeah, he's already in discomfort because he's excessively sweating by eating that food. Then at that moment, then shokha, what it gives you? Misery. Why misery? Because next day morning when you're going to the toilet, it is burning at the back. It was burning. So dukkha was at that moment, you didn't enjoy, you went, you're eating, or you go to any friend's house, you go, you eat, it is so spicy, you're sweating. So you're experiencing dukkha at that time, and next day it is shokha. Yeah, that is next day after some time. And then Lord says, it gives amaya, means these things cause diseases. So it is kind of something which we have to also reflect, where we have to regulate ourselves. Even drinking coffee and tea comes under rajasam. It makes addiction. It is kind of a stimulant. Have you actually seen people who don't get subah ka chai, morning tea? Oh my God, the whole day it is rubbish. I didn't get that tea. If you go to South, the coffee, the first thing is filter coffee. If you don't get coffee one time, you cannot go near to that person at all, because he's so irritated, always chid. Why? Because you are in Rajasam. You think your happiness is dependent on some kind of addiction which gives you stimulation. Even though the person will say, I only drink 1 cup only, but I need it at that time. So, this is a reflection, it's like a reflection sheet, that what kind of foodstuff we are eating and what kind we should eat and what we should avoid. Going to verse number 10, the verse, this one explains the person who is in a mode of tamasa, ignorance, what kind of foodstuff these people like. So the verse is, Yata yamam gatarasam Puti paryushitam chayat Uchishtam api cha medhyam Bhojanam tamasa priyam. So Srila Prabhupada writes here, food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten. Food that is tasteless, decomposed and putrid. And food consisting of remnants and untouchable things is dear to those who are in mode of darkness. Mode of darkness, mode of ignorance, it's all synonym to each other. Because their only preeti is they will probably get up, eat whatever they get, nothing, and they go back to bed. They don't bother about doing any work or anything. So the last line, Bhojanam tamasa priyaha. Yeah, tamasa, people who are in the mode of ignorance, priyaha. They love bhojanam. Bhojanam, self-explanatory, foodstuff. Yeah. So this verse is explaining about people who are predominantly in mode of ignorance. The first is Yata Yamam. Srila Prabhupada actually writes, food cooked 3 hours before eating. So if you actually see in India, when you go especially in summer season, oh my God, it is so hot, You cannot actually cook in the morning and eat in the evening. It will get spoiled like this. But people who are in the mode of ignorance, they are not knowing the science of cooking, and they cook for their own convenience, and they leave it and they eat it. Abhi ban gaya hai to chalo main kha leti hu. It has been done, let me do it. I don't. They are extremely lazy people. They don't want to put in any effort in doing it. There are many people under this category. Also, the food which is undercooked comes under. See, when we eat fruits naturally ripen, the chemical composition is different. You are able to eat raw. Whereas salads and vegetables, you are not able to eat way too much. If you actually eat a bowl of salad, it actually fills you up. You are not able to eat more than a bowl. Why? Because it requires quite a lot of effort for chewing and everything. And in order to digest that also, we have to put in extra effort. If you don't work, for some people, the salad actually stays in the stomach only. It doesn't get very, easily. So that is yata yamam. So you need to make sure if you are eating those kind of footsteps, you are working towards it. These days, everything is a remote culture. We just eat, we think we are leading a healthy lifestyle. Oh, I ate salad, and they sit, move, or give command to Alexa. They don't want to move themselves. Or they cook one day before and they eat the next day. This is yata yamam. Then gatarasam. Gatarasam, overcooked. Completely gatarasam, it becomes tasteless. No ras. Yeah, there is absolutely no ras. In India, there is a pressure cooker culture. Oh, I have to keep the pressure cooker. They put every vegetable also inside the pressure cooker in order to cook. What happens when it is cooked in such an extreme heat? The vegetable is disintegrated, It's all broken. It doesn't have any rus. It is overcooked completely. That is gatarasa. No use. Or you have killed all the nutrition by cooking so much. That also comes under tamasam. Puti. Bad smelling. Extremely bad smelling. Yeah. For example, you cannot... Everything, the way the Lord has created us, our nose is very near to the mouth. If something is not pleasing to the nose, you automatically go, oh, no, I don't want to, The Sattva Guna people like to eat foodstuffs, which is hridya, pleasing to heart, which means what? By looking, it should be pleasing. By eyes, the nose, the smelling and eating should be pleasing. That's hridya. The mode of ignorance people, they like foodstuff which is puti, which is extremely smelly. So now you can yourself assess what are the vegetables or things which are smelly. If you are liking those things, then Krishna is saying it is better you avoid if you want to progress, But for some people, the sugandh or durgandh, sugandh means good smell, durgandh means bad. So bad smelling, like you go to fish market, some people love the smell of the fish. Even though, it will be smelling miles apart. You go walk in the UK, walk near fish and chips shop, oh my God, the smell of vinegar and the fish. It is too much. Even when you go for shopping in Sainsbury's or Morrison's, when you go to those fresh counter, you feel like running. But for some people, it is delicious. Wow. So then we can assess that which mode is more dominating in you and where you have to go. So Krishna is saying we need to avoid this kind of food. Paryushitam, decomposed old food. If you keep the bread out for a very long time, the fungus comes, I'm sure in India, many people must have cut the corners and eaten the bread. Everyone has done. But in this country, there is a cheese called blue cheese. And they deliberately want the fungus to grow on it. And it is really stinking. If you go near the blue cheeses, and there are a lot of varieties. There is a blue color fungus growing on it. There is a green color fungus on it. It is extremely smelly and it is spoiled, but people love and they eat. Uchishtam, remnants of the food by others. Now these days, people are not following, I'm just saying general trend of the youngsters are not following how we were brought up, or there is a big generational gap. So if you see young lovers, they are dipping each spoon and they are eating each other's, juta we say, You don't know what is there in their mouth, their saliva, but they are very happy in sharing, eating from, they say it increases the love. They don't realize that how much diseases they're transmitting through their saliva. It is all very, it doesn't sound romantic, and it is definitely not romantic, but one need to understand the principle of cleanliness, and you should eat in your own spoon and do not share. But so this is remnants. So when we talk about remnants, there is a small difference. When we prepare foodstuff and offer to the Lord, it is not uchishtam, it is prasadam. The remnants which is coming from the Supreme Lord, it is prasadam. But once you have offered it and you serve that to your Guru Maharaj, to your spiritual master, and after that the spiritual master has eaten and whatever is remaining in his plate, that is uchishtam. So you are allowed to eat the remnants, the uchishtam of highly elevated spiritual masters, your guru, but not from other person. Otherwise you are not only sharing the diseases, you will be sharing your karma also with each other, and you don't know what the other person has actually done. Then amedhya, untouchable food items. So in Shastra, it is written medhya, amedhya. Medhya are the foodstuffs which is eligible to be offered to the Supreme Lord. Amedhya is the foodstuff which is not. Non-veg clearly comes in it. Recently, we had a visit and I had an inspection, and I work in a school and we have a beautiful temple. Krishna Balram is our deities. So I just offered the lady, please come to the inspector, come and see our deities, take darshan. The first thing she said, I had egg in the breakfast, I don't want to come to the temple. Which means she knows that the Lord is something pure and I have eaten something impure, and she really did not come. So, amedhya, food which is not suitable to the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, Supreme Lord says he only accepts preparations of vegetables, flour, milk, which is offered in devotion. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. And definitely, non-veg is not allowed in it. So all this are tamasam food. If you are eating or attached too much, we need to change. We need to elevate ourselves and come to the mode of goodness, which is sattvika. Why? Because if you eat the sattvika foodstuff, your mind gets purified. If your mind gets purified, you get correct knowledge. When the correct knowledge comes, the correct attitude, the bhava comes. When the correct bhava comes, the correct work is done. And the correct work, karma phala, determines our life. So you see how the foodstuff is actually connected to our life. Srila Prabhupada says, just by performing devotional service, we will transcend to Sattva Guna. So what happens basically when you come? So I'm just saying, we are constantly saying, we have to come to Sattva Guna, we have to come to Sattva Guna. That is the basic pre-requirement. But what happens once you come to Sattva Guna? You automatically transcend the three modes of material nature and you come to Vishuddha Sattva platform. There is a beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam 4.3.23. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam Yadiyate Tatra Pumana Aprita Sattve cha tasmin Bhagavan Vasudeva Hya Adokshajemi Namasa Vidhiyate. I offer my humble obeisances to Vasudeva. Why? Because when you come to the Saptva platform, the Lord is revealed in His pure form. So, one has to decide whether you want to go near the Lord, whether you want to stay in this material world. We do not need any kind of lifestyle coach, nutritionist, dietitian, anyone. In this 3 verse, the Supreme Lord Himself has taken care of our dietary needs, our every requirement from all the angles, including our spiritual requirement. Now, the ball is in your court. If we want to transcend, assess yourself what kind of foodstuff you are attached with. If it is in a Rajasic or a Tamasic gun, then please go and take foodstuffs which is Sattva gun. Thank you all for listening. I now open the floor for any questions and comments. Yes, Prabhu. Sorry. Yeah. I just said for setting the context, my shlokas were 8, 9, 10. So, 8, 9, 10. So, 8 was about mode of goodness, people who are in the mode of goodness, what foodstuff they eat. 9th was Rajas, what foodstuff they eat, the people who are predominantly in there, and Tamasic people. So, 7th, in this 7th, the Lord introduces the concept that the 3 modes of material nature starts from Aharam, the footsteps which we, now in the continuous chapter, it continues to Danam, charity, Tapa, Yagya.
But in the 8th shloka, you mentioned 2 times pleasing. You're talking about 2 times. What is the difference between those 2?
2 types of?
Pleasing. One time is mentioned pleased, another one is pleasing to heart.
One is pleasing to
Heart. Did you see that?
So pleasing to heart, Prabhuji, when you see a prasadam, when your eyes, nose, mouth, it's pleasing to your heart. Okay, Prabhu. I'll talk to you later. Thank you all. Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Sorry.
Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, ki bajayo jayo, Gora Chande, Arati Keshoba. Jaya Gora Chande. Janavitata-vane Jagamanaloba Dakinenitachan Swamegadadhara Nikate Advaitashini Vasa Chatradhara Moshiyate Orachan Ratna Singhasane Arati Korena Brahma Adi Devarane Nara Hari Hari Kori Shamaraduraya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Shankha bhaje, Ganta bhaje, bhaje karatala. Shankha bhaje, Ganta bhaje, bhaje karatala. Bhaje Madhura Mridanga bhaje Paramanasa Madhura Mridanga bhaje Paramanasa Shankha bhaje Ganta bhaje Madhur 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 bhaje Nitai Gaura Haribo.